Good evening, teacher. Hi, everyone. My name is Yipata, representing Group 2. And we have 5 members in our group, including me, who are Tolanyo, Jomomye, Toemu, Satatou, and me. Altogether, 5 members in our group. And for this evening, we are going to present about dialect. So before we talk about dialect, I'm going to explain to you the word dialect very briefly. So what is dialect? I believe that everyone has at least one dialect, or sometimes it is possible to have more than one, because we use language to speak or communicate with each other. So as long as you use a language, that means you are using a dialect of that language. So how do we know if we are using a dialect of a language or not? It is very easy to know. If the language you speak in your region is different from the main language or the standard dialect, that means you speak a dialect. So let's see how people define the word dialect in different way. If you look at your dictionary, you might find this kind of definition that says a dialect is a particular form of a language which is peculiar to a specific region or social group. And in literature, a dialect's definition in literature is a form of language in which an author writes characters dialogue. But in linguistics, linguists and sociolinguists generally define the word dialects as versions of a single language that are mutually intelligible but that differs in systematic ways from each other. And basically, there are 3 different types of dialect, including the standard one, which are regional dialect, social dialect, and standard dialect. Regional dialect are spoken by the people in a specific region of a country or continent. It is differ in vocabulary, pronunciation, and in grammar. It is often influenced by the speaker's geographical location and environment. And social dialect, also known as sociolect. Social dialects are the dialects that social groups share, like people of the same race, gender, socioeconomic class, or even same age group might speak the same sociolect. It is related to the speaker's social background rather than geographical background. And standard dialect. This dialect refers to the dialect a group of language speakers chooses to represent as the most proper dialect of that language. It is also used as a means of professional or formal communication. That was a brief explanation for the word dialect. And I think dialects are very essential in our daily life. They are part of our identity. Your dialect can represent who you are, the region you are from, your ethnicity, your race, your age, your religious group, and many other dimensions. So yes, that was my part, and I let's move on to another part with Tolanyo.
I am Tolar, and I will present about features of dialects and attitude toward dialects. Dialects is a base range of linguistic features that differentiate them from one another. These include a vocabulary. Dialects often have unique words or phrases that are specific to a particular region or social group. For instance, the word used to describe a small stream of water can vary greatly between dialects. B. Pronunciations. Dialects may have distinct pronunciation patterns, including variation in vowel sounds, consonant sound, or intonation patterns. These differences can be significant enough to cause mature unintelligibility between speakers to the different dialects. C. Grammar. Dialect can display differences in grammar, such as word order, verb conjugations, or the use of certain grammatical constructions. Some dialects may even have their own unique grammatical features not found in the standard language. D. Idiomatic expression. Dialects often features idiomatic expressions that are specific to a particular dialect or region. These expressions add color and richness to the language, offering insight into local customs, traditions, and cultural norms. Attitude toward dialect. Attitude toward dialect can vary widely. Some people take pride in their dialects, considering them an essential part of their culture and regional identity. Others may view dialects as inferior to the standard language, associating them with ignorance or lack of education. Language planning and policies often play the role of shaping this attitude, influencing the preservation or suspension of dialects.
Myanmar, also known as Burma, is a country in Southeast Asia with a rich linguistic diversity. The official language of Myanmar is Burmese, which serves as the lingua franca for communication throughout the country. However, Myanmar is home to several different ethnic groups, each with their own distinct languages and dialects. Burmese Standard Myanmar. Burmese is the official language of Myanmar and is spoken by the majority of the population. It is primarily used in government, education, media, and everyday communication. Myanmar has 8 ethnic groups. They are Kachin, Kaya, Kayin, Chin, Mon, Pama, Rakhine, and Shan. They have their own languages. However, they must to use Burmese standard language to communicate each ethnic group. So, each ethnic group has their own standard Burmese dialects. In Myanmar, we also have some nationality from other countries, such as Indian, Chinese, English, and etc. So they work in Myanmar and they learn Burmese standard language to communicate. When they speak, the sound is very different from the standard language and it makes a new dialect in Myanmar. Because when they speak, they combine their culture to Burmese standard language. For example, when Indians speak Burmese standard language, they shake their head and they use their hands. Here is the video. In Myanmar, we have many dialects and different social groups. For example, the dialects between the elder person and younger person. For elder person, they speak in very formal ways and very politely. For example, when they greet each other, "Mingalaba," "တွေ့ရတာဝမ်းသာပါတယ်" "နေကောင်းကြရဲ့လား" For younger person, they speak in very informal ways. For example, when they greet each other, "Bro, တွေ့ရကြပြီ။နေကောင်းကြမှာရဲ့လား" "Bro, ချင်းနေဘလို့လဲ။ Easy ပဲလား" This is the end of my part, and Toimu will continue the next part. Current dialects.
Hello everyone, my name is Sotoimu and I would like to present about dialects in Quran. Firstly, I'm from Wicklelutu, Nyonglingpin, and I never been a place where the variations, the dialects are so different. But I got a brother, he has been to Toliwa, and according to him, people from Toliwa speaks a bit different with us. The tone and the words they use are different. Tonight, I would like to present about 5 examples of how speakings are different with different places. The first sentences are from Wicklelutu, Nyonglingpin, and the second sentences are from Toliwa. I'm afraid I can't imitate exactly like the way they sound. So let's go to examples. Hesonia not the Hesoya sweet bow. Hinia quad the bit. Hini lo call the bit. Hinia made a set. Hinia made take a nipo. Napa or damanule. Yapa or noanya. Napa or madale. Yapa or punya. Mimi di ine the neighbor. Dadine sa e the neighbor. Thank you everyone. That's all for my part and Gosata Tong U will be the next presenter.
Hello everyone, my name is Satatu. I will present about English dialect. So let's start. English, very familiar with us, isn't it? And English people, very successful people in the world history since the age of Shakespeare. And their language, English, the most spoken language in the world. English is often used to communicate across the world, and it is lingua franca, the most global and the international language. So here are some information about the English language. The first one is English is a member of the Germanic language family, and out of the world's approximately 7.8 billion population, nearly 2 billion people globally speak English. The third one is the largest language by numbers of speakers and the third largest language by number of native speakers, as well as the most geographically widespread language. Next one is English is by far the most commonly studied foreign language in the world. And the last one is speakers of English are called Anglophones. So let's move to English dialect. There are so many things to talk about English dialect. Due to the spread of English around the world through colonization, trade, globalization, numerous distant dialects have emerged. Here are the map of English-speaking world. You can see the dark blue have English as the main language, and the light blue have English as an official but not primary language. Among them, the main English dialects in the world are British English, American English, Australian English, Canadian English, African English, Caribbean English, and Asian English. Among them, and I choose three most famous English dialects to present: British English, American English, and Asian English. First, I want to present is British English. British English dialects are varieties of the English language that differ from the English standard language. There are more than 37 dialects in the British Isles. Famous dialects are Scottish English, Wales English, Irish English, and Cockney. So here is the map of the British Isles. So we can see four regions: England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. There are four regions combined and called United Kingdom. We all know that one of the famous country in the world. We can think of that according to the difference in the regions. There can be many dialects across these isles. So among these famous dialects, I choose two dialects to present. The first dialect is related with different geographical region. That is Scottish English. The region at the top of the British Isle, Scotland, is a very beautiful nature and hills and mountains with their own culture. So here is a picture of a man with a traditional Scottish costume. He holds the bagpipe, the traditional instruments of Scotland. So next we'll talk about the Scottish dialect. So according to the different region in British Isles, it has unique vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammatical differences from other British English dialect. For example, the poem Ollantine. We all know that this poem, so Ollantine, is a famous Scottish poem written by the Robert Burns in 1788. It is often sang or recited at New Year's Eve celebration as a farewell to the old years. So the original we sing or we recite is in a Scottish language. So you can see the lyrics here is: should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and Ollantine? For Ollantine, my dear, for Ollantine, we will take a cup of kindness yet for Ollantine. In English, should all acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should all acquaintance be forgot and days long ago? For days long ago, my dear, for days long ago, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for days long ago. So you can see the difference between English and Scottish. The second dialect that I want to present is related with different social group, that is Cockney dialect. So let's see what is Cockney dialect. Cockney is a well-known dialect traditionally associated with working class Londoner as a unit vocabulary, pronunciation, and its grammar. So let's see the example. This is a Cockney dialect example conversation from the novel Leisure of Lambeth by William Seymour Edmund in 1897. So this is a conversation between Leisure and his mother. So first, you will notice that is the English writing is very different, and actually this is a writer written as the same pronunciation of a Cockney dialect in his novel. So let's explore a little bit about that dialect. So this is very interesting. So here you can see the first line is, I never said as how he shouldn't. I only asked yeah if it's what the same. Actually, this is in standard English language. I never said as how he shouldn't. I only asked you if it was the same. So, and second line, you can see, yes, that's all I mean. Its aim is Blaston, Jane Blaston. I've only spoke to him once. He took the 2 top rooms at the number 19 house. Actually, in English standard language, yes, that's how I mean. His name is Blaston, Jane Blaston. I've only spoke to him once. He took the 2 top rooms at the number 19 house. So another is, what's he want 2 top rooms for? So what's he wants 2 top rooms for actually? So him, oh, he's got a big family, 5 kids, and yeah, see its wife about the streets. She's a big fat woman, as the a funny. In his English standard, him, oh, he's got a big family, 5 kids, and you see his wife about the street. She's a big fat woman, as he, that's her hair funny. Finally, I didn't know he had a wife. I didn't know he had a wife. So this is a very interesting Cockney dialect. So according to the different in social classes or social groups, the language dialect becomes different. So in English, British English dialect, according to the social classes, for the worker, they might simply say I can't. For the middle class people, they might say I cannot. But for the very high class or in the written in the literature, they might say I do not currently possess the ability to can. This is a very funny or the interesting one in the British English dialect. Okay, so here is another English dialect, American English. We all know it, American. They like short, simple, easy, and they even change the original English and create their own dialect. So let's see video from the internet.
Daughter.
Daughter.
What? Try this. Water.
Water.
No. Bottle.
Bottle.
Oh God. Okay, never mind. Let's try something different. A full sentence now. She bought her daughter a bottle of water.
She bought her daughter a bottle of water.
No. Again, she bought her daughter a bottle of water.
She bought her daughter a bottle of water.
No, that sounds like a totally different language.
Yeah, I created a new language, dude.
I hope you will enjoy the American English video from the internet. So the last English dialect that I want to present is Asia English. There are so many dialects under Asian English. So the Asia is the big continent in the world, isn't it? So for example, Indian English, Singlish, and Mianglish. Oh, there are so many. Among them, I will present only 2 dialects, Singlish and Mianglish. So let's see Singlish. So this is a dialect from Singapore. The dialect for Singaporeans speaking English their own way of speaking. So let's see the example video from the internet.
Hello?
Hello, auntie.
Hey,
This is Vernon again. I need to do another party. Can I order food from you guys?
yeah, can what you want?
What's the menu this weekend?
This week, fried rice, beef fried rice,
I like fly. No?
You want chicken curry?
Yeah. Chicken curry is good.
Got also the nasi lemak. All you want?
Yeah. It's going to be a big party. What kind of drinks can you give us, Auntie?
We have the fruit juice. We have also we have bandung. We also have like soft drink like coke.
Sorry, what drink is that?
Coke.
Ooh.
Medium coke also got. Big coke also got. Which one you want? Also can three coke for price of one. I give you. You order enough. I give you that.
What? Wow.
Mm.
What a great. Okay,
So-
I'll take that lah.
Which one? Small one.
No, I got a lot of people.
You give me you get the medium 30 cents more. I give you big coke.
30 cents more for the big one. Okay, I think I need the big one.
You need the big one
But Auntie, is yours the real thing? No? Nice to drink or not?
Yeah, of course coke very nice one no need to worry
When can you deliver the drink?
You tell me the food how many, then the coke also how many I give you.
Okay, thanks Auntie. I'll confirm again later. I'll call you again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the next one is Myanglish. We all know it. So we Myanmar people use some English word to our Burmese conversation. We add some English word to our Burmese conversation. So sometime with any notice by ourselves, and it will make the Myanglish conversation. So here's the example.
ငါတို့ပဲကူးကြမလဲစကေကျွတ်တွေကတော့များနေတယ်ငါကဘော့စ်နဲ့ချိန်ထားတော့ပေးစီးနေတယ်ကုမ္ပဏီမှာမီတင်ရှိတယ်လေဒါဆို evening ကြမှာ yes တော့ရမှာတင်တာစားမယ်လေ booking လုပ်ထားလိုက်မယ် see you
And another Myanglish that I want to share is Myanglish in text messages. So we write Myanmar conversation into English and we send message each other. This is informal and only popular among young people. So we use in the text message this Myanglish and one of the popular language typing usages in Myanmar. So here are some examples. So the first one is Naykaunglar. We spell like that. So this is Nikaungla. So in English, how are you? And we write like that. So this is very interesting and one of the Myanglish in Myanmar. So and if you can read all these examples here, you're a specialist in Myanglish. So that's all for our presentation. I hope you all will enjoy all of our presentation parts, and thank you for your listening.